All right, what a day, what a day. And thanks to all of you who came early, stayed, and are joining us here today. I want to start by looking over here and thanking our crew and our pilots. You guys were amazing today. Oh, come on, clap for them one more time. And of course, now it's my honor to introduce them so that they can share their experience that they just had with all of you. So one of the goals for this test flight was to be able to bring back a group of people that then could go around and share what it's like to be an astronaut on Virgin Galactic and what it means to be in space. I'm sure you're all familiar with this group because we've just made them astronauts, but one more time I'm going to introduce them. Let's start with our Unity pilots for this mission, Dave Mackay and Michael Masucci. Dave, Such.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Next, I'd like to bring up Beth Moses, our chief astronaut instructor at Virgin Galactic and the cabin lead and test director for this flight. Beth, you did it, oversaw the whole thing. Great job, Beth. Colin Bennett, our lead flight operations engineer. Colin was evaluating all the equipment, procedures, and experience, and I think doing some tumbles. Colin? And Sarisha Bandla, our VP of Government Affairs and Research Operations. Sarisha evaluated the researcher experience. Biggest smile in space. Amazing. And of course, Virgin Galactic's founder, Sir Richard Branson, the master of customer experience, who tested the private astronaut journey and whose observations and feedback will be used to enhance what we do for all future astronauts going forward. Richard, congratulations. And with that, I think, Richard, we'll let you guys take it.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody. Once again, thank you, the whole team. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth because I feel I'm still in space. So, and some of you will say I'm normally in space. So, I'll do my best. First of all, it's absolutely fantastic to see all you kids here. I wish we could have had thousands of kids here. Hopefully kids all over the world saw it. When I was in space, I scribbled a couple of words on my grandkids' drawings, which you people will be able to hear. I hear it didn't actually come back to Earth. But basically it said that for all you kids down there, I was once a kid with a dream, looking up to the stars. And now I'm an adult in a spaceship looking back to our beautiful Earth. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. And I look forward to you all following your dreams and doing wonderful things. Maybe not quite building spaceships, but I'm sure something even more special one day. So to all kids out there, best with it. So this is meant to be a press conference. I won't talk too long, and also a kids conference. So if any kids or press have got questions to ask us, we'd be delighted to answer. But I'll leave you to do the comparing. Thank you, Ilana.
Thank you, Richard. So first question down the front. Irene, you were at the starting blocks. Hang on, you can have my mic.
Thanks so much. Congratulations, all of you. Irene Klotz with Aviation Week. A couple questions. One is what the condition of the spaceship is upon return. Is there anything that needs to be addressed before it flies again? And from your 2 hours that you've had to distill, is there anything that you would want to do different for customer experiences? Thanks.
Hello. I'll answer the second part of that question. I've started many sort of entrepreneurial or created many entrepreneurial things in my lifetime, whether it's airlines or cruise lines or train companies. Every time we start a new company, I will immerse myself and experience it. And I will have a notebook. And this is something you kids should think about. I'll have a notebook. And the last week, I've had my notebook with me. And I've written down 30 or 40 little things that will make the next experience for the next person who goes to space with us that much better. And the only way sometimes you can find these little things is to get in a spaceship and go to space and experience it. But having said that, 99.99% was beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, it's impossible to describe. Well, I should try, but I mean, what it's like, going from 0 to 3 Mach in 7 or 8 seconds, and then, as you go into space, it just the views are breathtaking. I mean, there's no question we are so lucky to have this planet that we all live on, and that's what Virgin Orbit, our other space company that had a tremendous success last week, and Virgin Galactic, we've got to all be doing everything we can to help this incredible planet we live on. I will devote the rest of my life doing that, and I think other people who go to space with us will devote the rest of their lives doing that. There are so many young engineers who've worked at Virgin Orbit and worked at Virgin Galactic. Some of them, some of them very young, just on secondment, who then had full-time jobs. So the 17 years of creating this has created so many incredible engineers and new jobs, and that's the other wonderful, exciting thing about this. It's too soon to, I mean, before they do the next flight, they'll obviously examine the craft and in meticulous detail, but there was nothing, I think Dave Mackay could answer that question.
Yeah, actually, Dave, I can take that one.
Okay.
So I'm Mike Moses, president of Space Missions and Safety Green, so I can take that one. Everything looks perfect in real time. We've looked at the data. We've done our quick engineering walk around. Normally, we take it in the hangar to do that, but the quick walk around on the ramp is perfect. The ship looks pristine, no issues whatsoever. We obviously had some trouble with the transmission. We wanted to get the interior cameras live downlinked to the ground, and they just kept cutting in and out, so we think we have some antenna blockage that we can work on, but that's the only actual real issue that we're tracking right now on the ship. As Richard said, we'll take our time, do all the detailed inspections, and then we'll figure out when we're ready to go again. But the ship looked perfect. Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about everything was filmed on board, and that we'll be able to put out later today. So it wasn't as if we'd lost anything. And if people want to see more, I'm sure our team will be offering it. I definitely want to see the tapes. So, I mean, it's so strange. You're suddenly, I said my words back to kids down here, unbuckled, and the next moment, I see 3 people floating below me. Just look out of the window and just, it's just, I'm never going to be able to do it justice. It's indescribably beautiful. And yeah, anyway.
Thanks, Richard. So I think we have a question at the back here.
G'day, Sir Richard. Just a quick question. You exude such confidence. Is there even just a small part of you feeling perhaps an intense relief that it all went to plan today?
Look, we have nearly 1,000 of the best engineers in the world, and including, I mean, some of these, the Sharisha. What's your some astrophysics? I mean, these are astounding.
I'm an aeronautical engineer, not an astrophysicist.
Anyway, I mean, I left school at 15, so, you know, being with all these people. Look, obviously, every flight, you know, every flight, people are learning more and more and more for the next flight. And the only thing I was worried about was some tiny little something that would get in the way. You know, it's sort of like stop us going into space because of something tiny. Now, after 17 years, the team is so meticulous at, you know, X-raying every single bit of the craft and so on, that I have no concerns on that count. But anyway, we're celebrating yet another incredibly successful flight into space today. Thank you.
Great. Oh, I am just going to go over here, and then I promise I'm coming back here. Let me just give you a mic over.
That's what I would have done. Definitely would have.
What did you see from space?
What you see from space is this wonderful dark sky, and then this incredible blue. We've got these incredible windows, and Dave and Such, they turn the spaceship upside down. So when you are floating, you're looking out of these giant windows back at this beautiful, beautiful sky, beautiful Earth back down here. It is, I mean, it is indescribable. It's up to us to make space available, so you know, many of you, when you grow up, are able to go there. We launched a raffle today to enable people to go into space, and you might think, as kids, why should I join in a raffle? Well, if you can persuade your parents or your grandparents to give you a raffle ticket, when you're 18, if you win, then you and a friend will be able to go to space. So. It's an exciting, I think, opportunity for people around the world, which has never existed before.
And I think I was going to say, I know, Colin, you wanted to share what what you saw. I think I saw you floating at one point in the camera.
Yes, I was very busy for the first part of the flight in space. I had some checks to get done, and so I was kind of in my zone doing that. And then I remember hearing Beth shouting, "Don't forget to look out the window! Don't forget to look out the window!" So. Very, yeah, so I looked out the window, and it was just, the view was just stunning. And just, it's very zen. It's very kind of peaceful up there as well. What jumped out at me were the colors and just how far away it looked as well. It felt like we were just so far up there. And I was just mesmerized for a good 30, 40 seconds. So it was amazing.
And Beth, I can't help but ask this, just because this is your second time in the cabin. How was it the second time?
Truly phenomenal. It was truly phenomenal the second time. And I would say it was more majestic, more beautiful, and of course, shared with more souls, all of you. So I couldn't be more pleased or proud of everything.
Amazing. So I'll give a question down here.
Thank you. Chris Buckton from the Daily Mirror newspaper. I've got two questions, Sir Richard. First off, you've conquered land, you've conquered sea, you've conquered air, now you've conquered space. What next? And I couldn't help notice that you've landed before the big game back in the UK, England in the final. Will you be watching the game, and how will you relax now?
Is that for Richard?
Well, you should show your arm.
I have a feeling that, sorry, what was your first?
What next?
Oh, what next? Okay, sorry. Well, I'll do the second one first. So I think everybody who's Italian or from the UK will be watching. You're very welcome if you're not Italian or UK to watch it. We've got, you know, big screens up everywhere. And the what next? As I said earlier, I think I'm an optimist. The next 30 years of my life will be devoted to doing, to an extent, what I've been doing the last 20 years, and that is we have a foundation that does great things for oceans and rainforests and the climate change. Anyway, a whole variety of things, and that's what I'll mainly be devoting my time to. Whether I will do another adventure, I'm not sure it'll be fair to put my family through another one. Whether it's, I think I've got the record for being pulled out of the sea 5 times by helicopters. So I think maybe I'll definitely give it a rest for the time being.
Second one was about the game.
Great, and I'm just going to go to the lady in the back. So Ella, it's just, there's 2 people in the back. We'll do both questions.
Gotcha. Hey, Jackie Waddle, CNN. So Richard, you've talked a lot about the overview effect and wanting to spread that. Would you say that you experienced that today? And then I was curious if we could also go down the line from all the passengers today, and if you brought any mementos with you or a way that you plan to commemorate today. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so where are we? I brought some mementos. I think you should always bring mementos. I brought pictures of my kids when they were a little bit littler in front of a giant UFO, which actually you kids are like this. On April Fool's Day, we flew this UFO over London and caused absolute panic in Britain. They had the police, the army, everybody out and surrounded the UFO when it landed. And then we had a little ET figure that walked out of the UFO when an English bobby came up with a truncheon, and this English bobby ran for his life.
That's a great
pictures of my mum and dad, my mum is the spaceship, sorry, the mothership is called Eve, so and that's in her memory, and I know she'd be proud. Picture of the whole family. You asked the question. There was a lovely lady who I wanted to go to space, and sadly is no more. And her family asked if I would bring up this picture, which I was delighted to do. I tell you what. Yeah, somebody else asked me if I could bring up a picture of them. It was a bit heavy, so I brought up his head. Anybody recognize that head? Stephen Colbert. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, I think we've all brought up mementos. Did you bring up anything?
So I brought up my husband's wedding band. Our wedding didn't really go as planned due to COVID, but he's still here, so I brought a piece of him up with me, and a flag from Purdue, boiler up. Oh, boilers! And I brought a pin that was designed and made by Matthew Isakowitz. He worked at the Commercial Spaceflight Federation and was really an advocate for commercial spaceflight industry getting off the ground. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and we started a fellowship in his honor for students to get into the commercial space industry and just get excited and contribute. So I brought a pin up, which I will gift to his family. Oh, and pictures of my family. Sorry, Mom. I did bring up my mother and father.
Yeah, so much like what Richard said, for me this was all about trying to inspire the next generation and school kids and to try and follow their dreams and achieve amazing things in the future. So I got in touch with my high school, and the headmaster was kind enough to send a flag from the high school, and then one from University of Illinois, where I went, so Big Ten. So yeah, just wanted to take those up, and then I'll send those back, and I think they'll find a nice, good place to put the picture and then the memento as well. So, yeah.
Well, inside our suits, we have inner pockets, and I tucked as many flowers in my inner pocket as I could for my loved ones and to represent life. So I flew flowers. That was all.
I'd like to address the first part of your question. You asked what was the view like. So this was my second time in space, like Dave and Beth. Actually, Dave's third time, right? So, yeah, beat us all one more. But it was very spectacular the first time we went up in February of 2019. This time, I did spend a little bit more time at Apogee trying to take in that view, because the first time, you know, you do something, you might not get it all, right? So I did take a little bit of time at Apogee. And the amazing thing about Unity is you get the sense of coming to a stop, stillness, quiet, there's no systems noises, there's no sense of movement, and that overview effect is definitely there, to answer your question. And that was even more amazing this time. So that was my takeaway to your question. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd echo that. The view is absolutely extraordinary. The dense, matte blackness of space in contrast to the incredible brightness of the surface of the Earth, separated by this beautiful blue atmosphere, which is very complex and very thin. And it's an incredible thing to see with your own eyes. Pictures, no offense to any photographers out there, cameras don't do it justice. You got to see it with your own eyes. I carried a couple of very small items, some jewelry items for some friends. I carried a little bit of gold that my father panned out of a burn in the north of Scotland many years ago as part of his hobby. But I also carried my Virgin Atlantic wings. I've been in the Virgin Group now for over 25 years. About half that time in the Virgin Atlantic as an airline pilot flying 747s and A340s. When I joined Virgin Atlantic, I had a suspicion, you know, it was led by this extraordinary person and maybe something exciting would happen there. I never thought anything like this would happen. I never thought we'd be flying spaceships like this on a regular basis. So thank you, Richard.
Great. I think we have a question here at the back, Hayley.
So Richard, Amelia from Channel 9 Australia. Just in terms of making history today and beating out your rival, I know you've been very clear that this was not a race, but you have won. How does that feel now to have come first, and what words do you have for your competitors and friends in the space tourism industry?
I don't know how, I've said this so many times, it really wasn't a race, you know, but we're just delighted that everything went so fantastically well. We wish Jeff the absolute best, and the people who are going up with him during his flight. You know, it was great this morning to find Elon in my kitchen at 3 o'clock and to come to wish us the best. I'd already been to bed, and he still hadn't gone to bed. He's an all-nighter, and I'm up to. Our time clocks are completely different, but so nice of him to come all this way to wish us well. And had a lovely goodwill message from Jeff as well. And I mean, so many incredible people around the world, and so grateful. And we've been to space, everybody. I'm definitely still up there. We're going to come down with a big thump soon. Anyway, it's so thrilling when a sort of lifetime's dream comes true. Yeah, thank you. I mean, going up with Dave and Such, you know, they're just such wonderful people, such wonderful pilots. I mean, you know, Dave's taken me up, you know, in all sorts of planes to, you know, get the body ready for it, and so, you know, so grateful for his patience. And anyway, thanks, David. It's been great, and thank you. So glad all those people who work for Virgin Atlantic. So incredible to be able to bring them over to another company on it. So it's great.
Sorry, we've only got time for one last question. So I'm going to come over. There's a gentleman here that we said we were coming to. Great. And then I know we have a question as well from the school, so we will come back to you as well.
A quick question for Ms. Bandla. I'm Julio Chavez from Reuters. We've spoken with your family before the flight. They were very excited, very proud of you. Have you gotten the chance to speak with your family after you've landed? What did they say?
They were just so incredibly excited. They've heard me say I want to go to space since I was little. I should say younger, because I'm still little. But yeah, they're just so proud, and they've been there and supported me. So they were just excited. My dad hugged me so hard when I got here, like my sunglasses shattered, actually. So it was just a big embrace, and yeah, I couldn't be happier, and I can't thank them more for their support.
Great.
My 3-year-old granddaughter just was pointing up, Papa gone to the moon, Papa gone to the moon. I'm not going to disillusion her, but anyway, it's so sweet, adorable.
Okay, we're going to do one more question, and I'm just down here on the floor. I'm going to hand you the microphone, okay?
Did you guys see any planets in space?
We apart from looking back at our beautiful Earth, we saw a number of different aliens out there. One of them hitched a lift on the top of the spaceship. Before we came back into the Earth's atmosphere, it rattles a lot as you come back into the Earth's atmosphere. And I think you managed to throw them off, didn't you, Dave?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't
So we left the alien up there, but maybe next time we'll open the door and we'll bring them back here. My grandkids haven't seen E.T. yet, and I'm looking forward to showing it to them next week. So, who's seen E.T.? Isn't it a wonderful film? Anyway.
Great. Well, I think that is all we have time for. And I know there are lots more questions that we haven't gotten to, but please do go to the press team that are here. We will get answers to your questions. We're here to help. And I just want to thank all of you once again for being here. And, of course, thanking our wonderful crew. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.